Hello, my name is Ian, and this is Finely Chopped Pixels. Today I wanted to share with you how I did some of the invisible visual effects shots of my most recent web series episode. And here you can see the timeline for the whole project, and there's a couple of shots I'm just going to go over real quick with you today and show you how I did them. So first off, we've got this right here. You can see it's a very simple shot, very quick, easy to miss, but it's just some blood hitting the ground and then just kind of melting into the ground a little bit. And this doesn't seem like it'd need to be a visual effects shot, but things got a little bit tricky when I was shooting it. So if I go into this meta strip, actually, I grabbed a couple of things. There's an image and a video sequence strip, and then I hit Control G to make it this meta strip. And in the video sequence editor in Blender, you can actually hit Tab, and that will go into the group. And you can see the individual parts of the group at that point. So you can see here we've got a clean plate image, and if I actually hide what's going on underneath that video there, you can see it's just this kind of piece of an image going on here. And then if we unhide the footage and hide the image on top, you can see there's some failed attempts going on here. So I'm going to show you real quick in the masking tab what's going on here. Maybe if we actually go to the start of things, this is the video clip that I used for the whole thing, and I just saved an image of this because there's nothing going on here. No blood has been squirted yet, and you can see as I pan through, I squirted some down here, and that didn't work out very well because that wasn't in the focus area. I accidentally missed. Then I just kind of reoriented the camera and thought I'll just make sure it's focused on this knot here in the ground, and then I'll just try and aim for the center of that. So I accidentally got my fingers in the shot. Tried to do it, and wasn't in focus again. My next attempt, yeah, there's actually the shot. That's a good drop right in focus. And so I took the image that I saved out earlier and just kind of covered up these failed attempts over here so it didn't look like somebody was bleeding out on the ground. Yeah, and that is what I did with that shot. So you can see here we're in the masking tab. So I just drew a quick mask here. You can see I'm kind of masking out these failed attempts over here. And this good attempt here is in the middle. And the mask is kind of covering up all that old stuff. And in the video editing tab, I imported that image. And then with that, you just take it and put it over top of everything. You can line it up with your footage if you wish. But this is just a static image here. And if we hit N, we can see the tab on the side. And under the modifiers tab here, just add in the mask modifier. Set that to be a mask. And we select the mask that we created. And now you can see we've got this image, and it'll just cover up a little bit of a piece of what we did. Now, you can see there's this checkerboard texture here, and you can't actually see the video footage underneath, so that's not very helpful at the moment. So let's go strip, and I'm just going to change the blend mode on this image from cross to alpha over. There we go. Now we've got the old movie underneath, and this looks alright. It could probably be passable. People wouldn't really notice anything wrong with it. But if you look really closely here, you get this kind of blurry gobbledygook going on here. And I think the reason why this doesn't look so good is because we're focusing on this part over here, and then up here, the focus is in a completely different area. So with Blender 3.0 and the video sequence editor, there's a new feature that we can just hit G and just grab layers and move them around, which is absolutely amazing that it can do this. So we can grab it and kind of line the focal lengths up a little bit. You can see this part is in focus and that part is in focus. Maybe this needs to be rotated a little bit. There we go. So we can hit R and rotate that layer. And now if we unselect everything, you can see there's this hard edge here where the image ends. So let's scale that up so that's not in frame. So I think that passes pretty well. You can see everything is lined up with the focal distance. It might be a little bit too wide here since we scaled it up, but I think it'll pass for what we need. Now, something I did with the other version, which you can see here if I unhide it, is I actually added in a bit of color correction as well, because earlier in the shot there was some shading that was a little bit different, and so I just went into the modifiers, and underneath the mask that I added in a curves node and just turned up the red ever so slightly in here. And you can see when I do that, the red is matching up in the foreground here, but in the background it's a little bit too intense. So I just added in another really soft mask called Gradient, and I just turned up the feathering a whole bunch by going Alt-S. And back in the video sequence editor, we can add a mask to our curves node, Gradient, and you can see the background is matching up now, and the foreground is matching up now. And I figured that was probably good enough for this shot. Might have been even a little bit overkill, but I like to exercise matching things up correctly. And I think that worked out all right. Okay, so that was the first shot, and you can see here after I grouped these together, I even scaled it up more and recentered the drop of blood in the center of the frame. Once again, just hitting S and scaling that up, and then G to move it around. Oh, I love that feature so much. Okay, the next thing we've got going on with invisible visual effects is this shot right here. You can see I'm poking my head out kind of like this, exploring a little bit. And then you've got the next shot, which of course is the creepy guy stepping out from behind the chimney here. But back in this shot, if you look closely, you can actually see the guy before he steps out on this side here. And that was another pretty simple visual effects trick where I took a video of just me stepping out and then a video and stacked them all together with a mask in between, and I merged those both together, and you can see it looks like there's two characters in the same frame. Now the reason I did this whole split screen method instead of having the actor that did the creepy guy and me in the same shot is because I'm actually acting as the creepy guy as well as this character here. I'm shooting this all by myself, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to have them both in the same frame, so it looked a little bit more like they could both be in the same world at the same time. It ended up being so out of focus that you can't even really tell any of the details, but I still think it's kind of fun just to have it in the same shot like that, because it kind of rewards people with a sharp eye. They know in this shot here what's going to happen. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the invisible effects shots in this episode here. I do love doing more bombastic visual effects, but it's also really convenient to know these tricks for if you're like trying to do a blood drop and you accidentally mess it up, or if you want to have yourself in the same shot twice. So I hope you found this really useful. If you did, and you're interested in learning more about visual effects in Blender, I've created a completely free video for you that just goes over 5 different techniques that will help you integrate your CG creations into real-life footage. So if that sounds interesting to you, there's a link in the description. Definitely go ahead and give that a click. But hey, I'd say we're done here. I hope you have an excellent day, and cheers!